Hello everybody and welcome back. It's Asa the Greek, and today we have a theory that I thought I had already posted a long time ago, specifically my theory on Wolfgang's Blackmail from Project Garden. I have talked about it to some extent during my playthrough of Chapter 1, but I figured it'd be best to have it as a separate video for anyone who is interested. I legit thought I had made a video on this already, and I only realized that when I was searching for it earlier this week. With that being said, let's talk about Wolfgang's Blackmail and what that could mean. In Chapter 1, Damon is given a photo with a note behind it. It's clear that the photo shows Wolfgang's parents, but what's concerning, especially for this video, is the message. Like father, like son, beneath a sheep's skin hides a wolfish mind. Considering that Wolfgang was the main antagonist of Damon's at the time, and how the other students had a generally good impression of him, this blackmail served as a way to tarnish Wolfgang's reputation, a way to make him look suspicious or potentially evil, hiding his true nature and possibly manipulating the cast. As a result, his death was a shock to everyone, leaving us puzzled and confused as to what his secret really meant. To figure out if Wolfgang was truly evil or not, we have to theorize what his father did, and then continue from there. So, what do we know about Wolfgang's family? We know that Wolfgang was inspired by his mother to become a lawyer, as she also was one before him. She is his role model, clearly, and yet it's clear that his mother is dead. In fact, his mother probably died when he was really young, maybe even after giving birth to him. That theory is reinforced by his free time events, where Wolfgang reveals that as a kid, he watched a lot of footage from trials, most of which were his mother's cases. Additionally, during Diana's flashbacks, the popular theory is that Wolfgang hallucinated two people, his parents. When seeing Diana at first, Wolfgang says this: "I can't believe it, I'm really finally meeting you." Kind of an odd thing to tell your mother, right? Unless you never saw her to begin with. Now, his mother could have died from various causes. Died after giving birth, an accident, or sickness, but the possibility of her being murdered makes the most sense. As a lawyer, she could have made enemies with the wrong people that could have got her killed. Damon pointed out, and it's true, that Wolfgang was oddly emotional during the test trial. Wolfgang claimed that it was an exception, and I can see why. It would make sense if Wolfgang lost his cool during this case, as the victim, Kara, was a red-haired woman, similar to his mother. The case could have brought back bad memories, which would explain his almost irrational behavior. It would even explain Wolfgang's quote of, "Killing a woman is the worst thing a man can do." While it is a horrible thing to do, personally, I'd say that any crime revolving around kids is the worst thing a man can do. This could be his bias showing. Not much is shown about Wolfgang's father, however, aside from him being a bad person according to The Secret. Originally, my theory was that his dad killed his mom, and that would explain his evil side. But I don't think Wolfgang is evil. So, I'm giving his father the benefit of the doubt, with a different theory on what exactly The Secret means. Whether we like it or not, kids often pick up traits from the people that raise them. Wolfgang wanted to become like his mother, but during his hallucinations, he admitted that he knew he couldn't become like her. He couldn't be perfect as the other students thought. When he sees his father, in Diana, he says that he'll never become him, but according to his blackmail, it seems like he already has become more like him, which would make sense if he was raised by him alone. His father could be an upstanding citizen for all we know, but people do change, and definitely losing his wife would break him, to the point of losing himself in an attempt to cope. I wouldn't be surprised if his father became an alcoholic or a deadbeat dad that could even assault Wolfgang while intoxicated. Yes, the possibility of his dad killing his mother is there, considering how Wolfgang screamed at him, or Diana, to bring his mother back, but that could be referring to whatever he was seeing at the time. Plus, if his father killed his mother, he was probably jailed right away, and Wolfgang would have no recollection of what his dad would be like. So, how would he know if he's turning into him, if he has never really met him properly? So, after discussing his family situation, what does Wolfgang's secret mean? Is he secretly a drunkard and an abuser? Is he evil and just lie to everyone for some nefarious reason? No, I don't think so. I believe that the blackmail was worded that way to make us wary of him, to make him seem more suspicious than he really is. Throughout the prologue in Chapter 1, Wolfgang is mostly seen as a morally good person, a saint even, and that's what his blackmail entails, the fact that he isn't really perfect. Wolfgang is the oldest member of the cast, and there are literally kids in here. A leader would be needed, We see him arming himself with a knife, despite saying all those positive stuff about no one killing. But it wasn't because he wanted to make people drop their guard. He wanted to do the right thing to protect the weaker members of the group, to ease their fears and reassure them that everything will be fine instead of listening to Ava and Damon's words that could lead the group into chaos. But, as he admits during his drug trip, he couldn't be like his mother. Despite Wolfgang's good traits and attempts at helping the team, he has flaws too. Flaws that, if noticed by the others, could ruin their image of him. Which is why he puts so much effort into appearing trustworthy and good. We see that Wolfgang is an avid pachinko player. Gambling is never a good sign, especially since it could hint to a potential addiction. And despite his perfect appearance, Wolfgang turns out to be quite messy, judging from his room and the fact that he doesn't even know how to wash his clothes. Finally, Wolfgang could very well be a player, if you know what I mean. It's clear that Wolfgang and Grace slept together and the night before he got killed, which I believe would be the third night of the killing game, when they became roommates. But here's the thing. During the switch, Grace already hinted that the two of them had done other stuff before switching rooms. Considering that their roommates were selected on the second night, that means that Wolfgang and Grace did stuff on the very first night of the killing game, right after the trial. Sure, both of them are the oldest cast members, but so quick in their situation? I wouldn't be surprised if Wolfgang was used to such behavior and he couldn't restrain himself so that he get freaky with Grace on the first day they arrived. A gambler and a flirt? Yeah, I can see why Wolfgang would admit he's not like his mother, and why he would resemble his dad instead. Because his secret was that he isn't as reliable as he seems. Because his secret was that Wolfgang was another human with flaws that he tried to hide in order for people to trust him and follow his lead. And honestly, that's not all that evil. Of course, this is all speculation, we'll have to wait until the final free time event is released, but that will be all for today. What do you think of this theory? Do you agree? Or do you think Wolfgang had some kind of ulterior motive we've yet to find out? Do let me know in the comments below, but until the next video, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.